Good day, folks. Welcome to Money Me. I do appreciate you guys. We're going to talk about Tesla and Disney because the last two videos I did, I mentioned about buying Disney, and I mentioned that we started buying some Tesla. And Tesla is down again today, 8%. If you recall, I mentioned buying it around 161, but I did warn that it would probably hit 145. And it did that yesterday, and today it closed at 137.80. Now, from what I am understanding, that Elon Musk is selling a lot of shares. Oh my God! Ever since he's gotten involved in Twitter, it's been just nothing but down. I mean, here we got back on 12/2 at $192. We go back to even $230 in November. Back to September, $288. When does it come time, though, that it seriously is a buy? Let's look at a weekly chart. And just full disclosure here, what I'm recording from my PC is I'm using the Webull desktop app. I have a small account. If you guys are interested in opening an account, I make nothing. They give you guys shares. I get a share for just putting the link in my description if you happen to go open an account. And when I opened an account like 2 years ago, I got 3 shares worth about $25 total. So check it out. Now's not the time to be getting crazy investing a lot of money in stock, but I still think there's opportunities. But every day it seems like there's something that sort of seems to be causing some problems for the market. And they're even talking about Japan today. And I just got off watching CNBC. And it said could be really inflation is across the world, so that's really what's causing a lot of the issues. But here we peak on Tesla at 414.50, and that was on last year, November the 5th, 2021. We went down, but we definitely have 145. I said it. I said short term we may hit 145, and it always seems to overshoot. 137.80. Now, full disclosure, and as you guys know, I'm not a licensed broker. I created this channel to basically talk about my experience trading stocks and all things money, real estate, different things. So I make videos from time to time. I don't force videos, so that meaning I don't make videos every day just to make videos. Maybe that would help me grow the channel a little bit more, but speaking of that, if you guys haven't subscribed, it doesn't cost nothing, doesn't cost you no money. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tell me, are you interested in Tesla? I know before in the past I've missed it. It's had substantial growth. I'm gonna pull up a chart. Let me and charts you could throw out the window anymore right now because the market basically, and I had called it at the beginning of the year that we're definitely in a different environment. But when does it come a time that finally you could start to nibble at, I'm pulling up stockcharts.com, and sometimes what happens is I like to look at that just for support. And if you guys can see the 50-day, the 50-day is in blue. Yeah, so the 50-day moving average was 193.18, and the 200-day moving average was 257.37. So I'm going to change this one to a 13-day moving average. This is a website that you can go over and check out and do a subscription, but you're allowed to do some basic charting over there for free and put a 200-day. So I like to keep the 13. Yeah, see, once I broke that the 166, and again I said 161, and I said short term it was 145. And I also pointed out that the small position that I took under $1,000 was if it probably hit back to 180, I would sell it. I did put in $200 today for a option that expires next month. Just honestly hoping for a bounce, make a couple $100, and then I would convert them to regular stock. So let's look at a Galaxy View, which is a little bit more of a weekly. There's a daily, and then there's a weekly, and I mean the weekly was up here at 252, and there's a lot of pressure on it too, of tax loss selling, and anybody who's gotten margin calls anybody that wants to basically get out and take the loss. But the thing is, they can't get back into it for 30 more days unless it's a wash sale. So I like Tesla here. Obviously, it's a great stock that's been growing at 50. The company's been growing. I saw a chart the other day, and I didn't even know that $110 million and something like, what was it, 55 billion something last year. Let me double check that number. I don't like to just sometimes throw numbers out there and kind of I like using the internet. Yeah, revenue 1855. I think the revenue were 55 billion if I call that. That's what I think what that chart says, but it's definitely in a bearish pattern. And I mean, they have a 1 year target of 258 sales for the year. There are a lot of people frustrated with Elon. Yeah, I mean, basically, it was 1.12 trillion in March. Now he was the richest guy in the world, and not that you know what, even if you're still worth $2 billion, you're not hurting. But actually, the revenue I have right here right now is 74.86 billion. So the 55 might have been last year's number, and they got honestly 21 billion. And where am I finding this information? Again, using the internet, yahoofinance.com. And the reason I'm showing you this, guys, is because when I make an investment or I do things, and obviously we all make mistakes, and otherwise we'd be all super rich if it was that easy, and it's not. Total cash 21 billion, 6 billion. So they have roughly net with the debt $14 billion in cash, which is a lot of money. Shares short 77. Yeah, and even the short ratio is only like 3%. Elon Musk at one time, it was something like 50% that he held, and he, from what I clearly understand, is moving the market by the financing of Twitter and stuff like that, and he's causing a lot of chaos over there. So, all right, so that's my basically brief synopsis. Am I gonna add more? Not yet. If we do get, let me pull up stock charts. Where would I be nibbling or taking a little bit more of a position again? And I'm not dumping 50,000. I'm not. It's whatever it does is not gonna. I'm not worried. I don't think the stock is going to zero. Do I think it's going back to 400 quickly? No. Well, and just quick glance in this 126. I mean, we're at 137.80, so it's 126.37 the next. Now I don't have any Bollinger Bands on here, but you kind of get a good reference point on some charts. But I don't know. I think we're kind of due for a little bit of a pop. Any good news in the stock could. It was down 8% today. Any good news in the stock could pop 10%, just like that. So, all right, let's talk briefly about Disney, because Disney had we've been dollar cost averaging, and if you remember, I made a video and said that's what we would do. Let me see here. Quotes. We're having a little technical difficulties. What's going on here? Okay, hold on. We're not getting a right screen here. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that. Alright. So there's usually a box up here. I don't know if it's my screen locked or what. Hold on, folks. Oh, yeah. Sometimes they change these things around. So Disney, and I could pull this up over here. Disney was up today at $1.24. I'm going to pull that up. The desktop is acting, but look, dollar cost averaging. We said every month we would be dollar cost averaging. If I remember, I was buying in the low 90s, and I said it probably could even get down to 75. So we're buying every month several shares, and with a target in the next 2-3 years of 140. We don't want to spend more than 120, and I prefer to get it in the $100. Anything in 100. Now, what we will do, obviously, if we dollar cost average, so when the stock is at 87, we're going to pick up more shares. When it's at 110, we're not going to pick up as much. So we're shooting for an average in the 95 area. So if we get it works both ways. If we get it going down 15% one day, we'll step in and maybe buy 2 or 3 shares instead of buying one. It pops 15-20%, we're only going to buy one. So it seems like we're bottoming some. And here, if you look at up here in this chart, the relative strength index, it's bottom and it's starting to turn a little bit up here. Now, Disney is a core holding as far as I think long term. The old CEO is back, and I'm thinking that's going to help. So here's the Disney chart. Yeah, here's the Disney chart. I don't know why. I used to be able to put a quote in here. I don't know if I have the screen too maximized, but even Disney, look at Disney. $203 back on April 2001, and it's been, again, nothing but down even on that stock. It was 106. It was 126 back in August. So it was down this week just because they said the Avatar movie with James Cameron didn't do as good. So I'm going to make a video in the future what I think could be done to improve Disney stock and maybe things I like to see. Who am I? I'm just a guy that's probably been there 10 times in the last 20 years. Once every 2 years we seem to go. And so I've paid the enormous ticket prices and stuff, and I like to see some fun stuff. And we got to factor in mind the stock has gotten beaten up because also the parks were closed for months. The movies were put on hold because people weren't making movies because of COVID. So, you're going to need some patience. You're going to need a lot of patience with many stocks, but I still think Disney is a good, I'm a little bit biased because I invest, go to Disney and have been there a lot, and actually bucket list like to work there one day. So, all right, guys, so that was it today. I do appreciate you guys watching. If you guys could do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you made it this long watching it, and don't see you. Have happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. But dollar cost average on Disney, patience on Tesla. You guys take care.